we made it. It is the end of our devotional series, and it is also Christmas Eve. So while I am sad that this portion of our season is over, Christmas is not quite done yet. We still have a couple days left before the big day. So I hope that you continue to examine His Word as we prepare our hearts for Sunday worship and the celebration of the Christ child who came to this earth as a human to save the souls of men. This time of year is so unbelievably special. And as we go back and read His Word, we can see just how important that first coming is. Obviously, we know it's important now, but how important it was to the people who lived in that time period as well. Imagine being one of God's chosen people, and you have been promised that this Savior was going to come, this Messiah was going to come, and He was going to wash away all these hurts and pains, and He was going to reunite fallen man with God, and He was going to deliver these people out of their bondages. And then all of these stories that the generation who saw Jesus come first were told for years and years and years, finally coming true that one night many, many years ago as Christ was born. Imagine being able to live there, to walk with Jesus and to talk with Jesus and to see the miracles that He performed and to hear His teachings. That was just an unbelievable time period for them to live in. Everything that was foretold about Him, about who He was, has come to pass up until that point. They were able to see everything that generations before them hoped for and prayed for. And now we find ourselves in a similar position to what their ancestors were in as they waited for the first Advent. Remember, Advent means arrival, the arrival of our Savior more specifically. And as we said in the first video, it is a time of waiting. Advent is a time of waiting. And just like they waited for Jesus once, we are now currently doing the exact same thing. The world is dark. There is so much hatred. There is so much death and disease and just so much brokenness in this world that joy and light seems to just be swallowed up by darkness. And I know that if you're like me, you look around and you just feel this unbelievable weight on your shoulders as you see just how much death and how much destruction there really is on the news. It doesn't even have to be the news. You can just be scrolling through your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed and you see just how dark things are. But thankfully, we have hope. See, God's redemption plan didn't stop at the death and the resurrection of Christ. It is still working. He's not done with things just yet. So let's read in Revelation 21, 1 through 5. It says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be His people, and God Himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain, for the former things have passed away.' And He who was seated on the throne said, 'Behold, I am making all things new.' Also He said, 'Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true.' And He said to me," we're going to go ahead and go to verse 6. "He said to me, 'It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give from the spring of water of life without payment. Indeed, friends, while one Advent has happened, another is also coming. How wonderful is this? All this darkness that we see, all the trials, all of the hurt, all of the loss, the death washed away, all will be made new. The old will come to pass. Christ will reign, and every tear that we have will be wiped away as we live in eternity with Him. This Christmas, as we look back and think about Christ's birth, as we think about the glorious Advent that took place all of those years ago, let's use this time to remember that and also look to the future, a perfect future under the rule of Christ. As we commune with other believers, singing His praises forevermore, come to the Father, know who He is, and experience the one true hope, the hope of Christ. Have a very Merry Christmas.